Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today we'll be talking about Now You See Me and Now You Don't. Alright, so Now You See Me has finally graced us with a third film within the franchise, which is a thing I am very happy to say because I am a massive fan of those first two movies. The first one has a lot of tension, doesn't have a lot of story, but you don't need it in a movie like that. It's just cool to witness. It's just epic to see all of those tricks unfold. The second one delivered a bigger story that wasn't as great as the first storyless movie, but it had Harry Potter in a race or in a war against magicians, which was pretty fucking funny, and he was pretty unhinged in that one as well. But now we have a third film within the franchise, which comes around 9 years after the second one, which is a long ass time, so this feels like a legacy sequel in some sorts, especially because of the added cast to the movie. And some of the things I didn't particularly love about this film, let's start off with the bad, is that there is not as much tension as there was with the previous two films, and it takes longer for them to get to the tenseful points where what made the first two movies so great. So it takes a longer time to get to the great parts. It takes a longer time to get to those great points. Not to say that this is bad in any way, but it just takes a little bit longer. It builds up a little bit slower, and it's not necessarily boring because the pacing of this thing is incredibly fast, which I love. The film is around 2 hours, but it doesn't feel like it, which is great. But I feel like the movie kind of missed that bond that the Horsemen had in the first two movies. And of course, it's a big plotline in the film why that isn't the case in the beginning, but it felt a little bit all of a sudden, and it felt like we missed some story in there, which was kind of a bummer because I felt like I missed some things, and I don't want to feel like I missed some things when I wanted to watch the movie. And it's only a small detail, but it was only in the first half of the film where I felt like that, because in the second half the movie definitely picked up on those things. I also feel like the movie switched around places a little bit too much, like it wasn't as centered as those other two were. It feels like it's more all over the place in terms of everything, and that's okay. It's okay to go bigger and to go bolder and to go better, but the reveal at the very end of the film, like your third act reveal when everything comes together, doesn't really feel as impactful as in the other two films, making sure that this third act felt more like the build-up towards the third act than the third act itself. So once you start noticing, oh, this is the big reveal already, you don't want to feel like that, which is what this movie had a little bit. The reveal is still very good, but it's not as impactful as those other two films were, making sure that it's just not as good as those other two films are in some ways and capacities. Because I think personally I do still prefer this one over the second one, but only by a small bit. But I also love the second one, or I also like the second one, so that is pretty great. Talking about the good stuff of the film, like whenever these characters are back together again, it's awesome. It's really, really fucking wholesome to see, and everything and everyone is still so incredibly good at portraying their characters. It's fucking awesome to see. Now you don't see them anymore, but Jesus Christ. So that's pretty damn fun. It's pretty rad to see them come together again and to see them portray their roles with such perfection. I love Woody Harrelson in this. I love Jesse Eisenberg. Dave Franco is awesome. I don't know why. Maybe it was because she wasn't in the second one, but Isla Fisher's character, she felt a little bit out of place, but she rolled back into it near the end, which was great. There are some surprise cameos, some surprises that you won't see coming or hope for, but don't know if you will get them, which is okay, which is good because they are nice and they are part of the franchise, and I'm happy that they're part of it in the way or capacity that they are, which I definitely fucking loved. I was missing someone and then he showed up and I was like, yes! And it's fun to see. And this time it truly feels like, even though it takes a long time for them to actually come together because of course, Isla Fisher not being in the second film and the girl from the second film not being in the first film, it never truly feels like we had the full band of Horsemen together. And in this film, there's more conclusion to that. You feel more like this is a true legacy sequel in some sorts of ways, or this is a true sequel where you actually get everyone and everything together to make sure that you have this big finale that you really want from this film, or for a film like this. Not that this is the big finale, because I do know that they are building towards Now You See Me 4, which is also nice, which I also really want, but it was nice to have this moment and this feeling of like, oh, everything is coming together, and I really, really, really love that for it. You also do really feel that the story was kind of concluded with the second one, and then now they had to do something else for this one, which is they pulled a lot of rabbits out of their hats, and sometimes it is because of what I said already with the fact that you feel like you missed something, is they had to think some things to get the characters to where they're going, and it doesn't always work for the best, but the story in and of itself made sure it still worked in the end. Talked about another one important thing is, of course, the added cast. Like, you have Justice Smith, you have Ariana Greenblatt, you have the other dudes that portray the new batch of Horsemen in this, the other group that is integrated into the Horsemen. I wasn't really a big fan of that idea. I really wanted them to focus on the Horsemen, but I have to say that they work incredibly well with our old cast, but also work incredibly well in and of themselves, which is awesome, which I really liked. I wasn't a fan of them beforehand, but the movie definitely won me over into liking them, and to maybe even wanting to see a movie solely built onto those three kids. But I liked their inclusion in the rest of the team, and the bigger team, and that was what drove me to really like this film. I think it's them that really nailed this home. It's nostalgia that really gets you going, but it's them to nail it home. There's a plot twist in the end. Don't know if I think it's one of the greatest plot twists ever. I definitely do not think that is the case. It was a solid plot twist. It was a little confusing in the beginning, but near the end, it actually kind of made sense for the story that we're telling, and it truly felt like a plot twist you could see in Now You See Me fashion. With all being said, I definitely really loved this film. It's not my favorite film of the franchise, but it's on a solid second place, even though it's only slightly behind the second one, or in front of the second one. But it's not a perfect film, but it's a perfect fun flick to watch if you are interested in a movie like this. And it's partially filmed in Belgium, and the part of the movie is in Antwerp, which was awesome to say as a Belgian guy, to have international movies filmed in your cities. Not my cities, I'm not a fucking mayor. You know what I mean. Alright, I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars and a heart. What did you think of it? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'd like to see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.